Should you buy now or wait until mortgage interest rates and home prices go down? We've got a lot to discuss, and it's all coming up. Stay tuned. Hi, this is Warren Oberholser. My channel is all about what's going on with the residential housing market, both nationally as well as locally. So if this sounds interesting, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. Over the weekend, I received a few calls and emails about my latest video, should you wait, buy, or run away from the housing market? The main question or concern was, should you wait until mortgage rates and home prices go down? Via the media, there has been a strong movement on what will happen if we go into a recession and how this will affect or crash the housing market. As I said before, I'm sure not an economist, and my channel's not about financing. However, I do have years in the real estate business. I started out in 2009 when the subprime crash was at its peak. What I'm going to do is review some facts on historic mortgage rates and what happened in the 2008 housing market crash. Hopefully after watching this video, it will help you decide whether you should buy now or wait. Let's start off by looking at mortgage interest rates. Historically, interest rates at their lowest peak was just a few years ago in December 2020. They were at 2.68. I know, that's like free money. I always use that expression. And if you were able to refinance and take advantage of that, excellent. However, at 5 point, whatever we are right now, 5.5, it goes up and down. If you compare it to the highest point we had was 18.54. I mean, that's higher than a lot of credit card interest rates. If you're considering buying now and going after a house and you think, wow, I really missed out, try not to circle around to 3% because that was unheard of. Remember, we were in a pandemic. The economy was shut down. So the federal government had to respond, had to react. The Fed rate went down to 0. It meant that banks lending was, didn't cost them anything. So they were able to give very low rates, but it was for a limited time period. Now let's talk pricing. If we do go in a recession, what will happen to home values, home prices? We've already seen properties stay on the market longer. And yes, some homeowners are dropping prices, not across the board, but yes, we do see that. And again, that's an opportunity to look into. Are we looking at something globally across the board, nationally across the board? Per the Fed, the median sales price for homes nationally is $428,700. Let's compare that number to 2007, which was our highest point, which is right before we had the subprime housing crisis. If we look at the prices at the peak in 2007, before the beginning of the subprime crash, it was $257,400. After the crash, the lowest point on record was $208,400 in 2009. This is approximately a 20% difference. Where many people try to compare, prior to the pandemic in 2019, the median home price was $327,100. Is it possible the current home prices, which are at $428,700, could roll back to 2019 prices? Kind of like what happened in the housing debacle 2007 to 2008. I don't see this happening for a couple of reasons, which starts with the low inventory. Even with what we're seeing where properties are staying on the market longer, at best, we're looking at maybe 45 days of inventory, which is like a month and a half. Normal inventory in a balanced market is about 3 to 4 months. Buyer's market is 6 months. So we're far from that. The second part of it is we're looking at a very stable homeowner. Most people who have a mortgage, by the way, are taking advantage of the low interest rates in the last couple of years. The reason why I say, by the way, statistically, 63% of American households carry a mortgage. And in that number, I think it's 30% of them have a rate that's 3% or lower. I believe only 14% or 14.5% have a home mortgage in the mid 4s. This is for a 30-year fix. So if 62% have a mortgage, that means 38% don't even owe anything on their property. Whether properties are being sold now in a bidding war or not, a homeowner doesn't have to go anywhere. It's not anything like what occurred back in 2008, 2009. Another part to this equation, when you compare 2008, 2009, and what was going on back then, you had a homeowner that could make a decision by walking away from their home because if they had a subprime loan that was going to go to the next tier, which could be 3-4% higher than where their teaser rate mortgage payment was, they could rent for half the value. Most of these homeowners didn't have any investment into the property. We call that skin in the game. Back then, you could purchase a home with a mortgage without any money down. So for them walking away, they weren't losing any equity or any money that they invested in. Yes, their credit would be damaged and they'd have to rebuild that. You could rent so much cheaper than what you would be paying for your mortgage, especially when that teaser rate went away and it adjusted to the new premium. And that could be as much as twice the monthly payment. Regarding rent, the National Rent Index hit an all-time high in May. Rent growth continues to outpace 2021. One last item. Regarding the effects a recession will have on the housing market, in my recession crashing the housing market video, Fannie Mae concedes that there most likely will not be a soft landing. However, due to our strong housing market, it's possible we'll have a moderate recession. So if we do go into a recession, fortunately, I don't see any challenges to the housing market like we had in 2008. We will need to continue to watch inflation and see how the Fed responds with raising or lowering the Fed rate. I also want to see the effects inflation is having on pricing, such as gas, materials, groceries, etc. So I have a question for you. Do you agree with what I just went over? What do you think will happen to the housing market? And do you think interest rates will continue to go up? Or do you think they're going to start going back down, especially to 3%? Please post your comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, post your questions and comments down below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider doing so you don't miss anything. If you found this video interesting, you may want to watch these other two that are starting to pop up just about now, because I will go into more detail on what I just talked about in this video. So stay tuned. I have more helpful videos like this coming soon. Please reach out to me for any of your real estate questions or needs, and I wish you all the best on your home journey.